Ew, ew. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? Hold up, I need my music, man. Y'all need my music. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. And we are here Friday. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right. We got a little bit of a different setup for y'all today. I'm using a wireless mic, so I really don't even need this, to be honest. I could just rock out here. Let me actually see. I'm gonna do this. I'll do it this way. So it'll still look like it. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to G in the building. Please make sure that as you join, you are liking. And if you aren't already subscribed, you're subscribing for the algorithm. We appreciate that. Hopefully the mic is coming through all right. We got Steve in the building. We got G in the building. What's up, G? I got to tap in with you, man. We got to reconnect. I know that's on me. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody is on pace to do what we set out in the beginning of the week to do. Make this our greatest week ever. Make sure that that's not too loud. It's supposed to be background music. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. I'm not sure if y'all saw the thumbnail. It's getting spooky out here. We got Shannon Sharpe. He going through it. Did he blow the bag? Did he blow 100,000? I mean, 100 million? We got some videos from Rainn Wilson. He did an interview with liberal-leaning media, so we're going to kind of talk about that. And that's actually been a reoccurring theme, like even what we saw with the Letitia James interview, where you have these platforms that somebody like, let's say, a Letitia James will go on, and it'll be very favorable to her. And what's funny is it's almost like, just like there's journalistic standards and, attorney standards. When you hear somebody like Letitia James say nobody's above the law, but then from a journalistic standpoint, when you see these people interview a Letitia James and they ask these type of questions where they're pretty much just, it's like they go from journalist to attorney for the person that they like, because that person's the Democrat. So we're going to go through a little bit with that. I got to show y'all this Letitia James. I know we just watched the Letitia James interview, but she did another one, and I have to show y'all some clips from that. Then we got, apparently Trump's giving out some 5K bonus, baby bonus. We're going to talk a little bit about that because the beautiful ladies on The View, they had an interesting perspective that I'd like to share with y'all and get y'all opinion. Elizabeth Warren, we got a little bit of video on that, her discussing kind of Biden's cognitive decline. Michelle Obama. So Michelle Obama, I guess if we're talking about her, then the pod must be doing something well as far as getting our attention. I guess we'll have to take a look at this particular thing that she's discussing and how I kind of related to my most embarrassing moment in sports, in my sports career. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We got a couple icebreakers with Charlamagne. Let's actually just get into it. So once again, like, that's going to help boost the algorithm. And let's get into some of these combos. Let's start off with the, which one shall we start off with? Let me actually go to the Charlamagne video. Let's go to the Charlamagne video. There's a lot of videos that I'm probably going to show today, in my opinion, that just symbolize why we are I was going to say a messed up country, why we're in such a messed up position, perhaps messed up country, but why we're such in a bad position when it comes to a lot of these things, why we look at certain people and deem that we hate this particular group for no other reason than we've been convinced to hate that particular group. But we're going to have a lot of these conversations that are centered around when we say perception versus perspective, and how not being intently aware of both can put us in a very compromising position. So this one, when it comes to the Democrats, liberals, I'm going to show y'all this interview that was done. Shout out to Professor King. This interview that was done at the Breakfast Club from somebody that was a Biden strategist. So this person is a Biden strategist. Y'all take a look at it. Where are we going to be today? Where shall we be today? If it's okay with y'all, we'll rock out here. And y'all give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on this one.
I don't really talk to people who voted for Donald Trump. Like, that's not, I don't need to talk to them.
You know this guy, Lenny, they call him Charlamagne, but Lenny's got a radio show, and
Lenny.
he had Biden advisor Letitia Johnson on. Well, you just tell me, does this seem like the good move for the Democrats right now if they're going to be a big party ever again in the future?
If
some of my journalist friends and I get into this disagreement, I don't really talk to people who voted for Donald Trump. Like, that's not, I don't need to talk to them, because if we look at the last election, 90 million eligible voters did not vote. That's a whole lot of people that we can reach to understand that they actually have power to change the system.
I think you should.
Let's get right to Charlamagne, if I may chime in very quickly. This is very much part of the problem, however you want to look at it. She thinks that because she'd rather not talk to certain people that she disagrees with or doesn't see the same way, doesn't have this exact same perspective, which is so funny because they're the party of DEI, right? Diversity, right? But when it comes to diversity of thought, we've had this conversation over and over. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But her looking at this from a standpoint like, oh, well, there's just 90 million other people. And then when I think about them incentivizing all these illegal migrants to come here, they really feel that they can either just like, they don't even feel the need to come to the table. Let's sit down. Let's break bread. Let's see how you're seeing it from this point of view. Let me explain why I'm seeing it from this point of view. And let's see if we can find some common ground here, because we do have to operate in a society as one, right? It's not like it's just Democrats living in one state, Republicans living in another. It's not like there's a Democratic food store that you go to. We have to interact with each other. So for a Democratic strategist to get up here on a globally syndicated show, or definitely nationally syndicated show, and feel so comfortable saying what she just said, it just shows, like, when you display this level of ignorance, in my opinion, it just shows why we are in the position that we're in. These people, imagine not speaking, feeling the need that you don't need to speak to the other side. People that may not see the world the same way as you. Because what do we say? Our own experiences shape how we see the world. I kind of talked about it, touched on it on a few different shows about some conversations that I was having with some family and friends over the last couple of weeks. And it became very apparent that their individual experience with one type of situation, it could be, well, I was raised this way, so therefore I want to, and I'm trying not to give the specifics out, but it's almost as if saying, well, yeah, I had a bad experience with basketball, so therefore my kid is not going to play basketball. It's like our own individual experiences shape the world. And let me give it better. It's not like that one. It's like, I had a bad experience with basketball, so nobody else should play basketball. Like, it's insane just because people, let's keep going. I'm sorry. My apologies. Let's keep going.
Talk to people.
And that they actually have power to change the system.
I think you should talk to people who voted for Trump. And the reason I think you should is because then you'll understand the why. And I think that's where Democrats just simply failed.
Yes.
They didn't know, they couldn't understand the why. It's like, oh, how could you vote for the, did you actually have a conversation with them to see how? Because a lot of it does just have to do with a lot of policies that they just didn't agree with.
That's true. And
so she started off saying, and this is, to me, what I'm seeing is that a lot of people get on these cameras and they feel that they just want to act a certain way to appeal to a particular group. I see that Michelle Obama doing that. I see Jasmine Crockett doing that. Just my perspective. So you get up on here in these platforms and you say certain things and you sound stupid. And then all it takes is Charlamagne to say, oh, well, no, I actually think you should talk to people that don't think the same way as you. I know your way of thinking is the perfect way. I know your perspective is the only perspective, the righteous perspective, the morally ground perspective. We know that. But perhaps if you speak to them and humble yourself a bit, then you will understand why they're saying that they're voting a different way. Why these people that used to agree with you, used to vote with you at the very least, are going in a different direction. They have no interest in sitting down, discussing, seeing the world from any other perspective that does not fully align with theirs. So then, as a Democratic political strategist, she gets on the Breakfast Club and presents herself this way. Charlamagne, who's just a radio host who just got into politics, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, just started getting interested in politics. This is according to him. Like, this is something that he's told me. That was a little bit of yeah, I did that. Yeah, whatever. That's my, whatever. So he's telling her, nah, you should talk to the other side. And what does she say? Oh, yeah, that's fair. Maybe I should. So who's the strategist here? Maybe Charlamagne should be the strategist.
Let me clarify that. There are a lot of people with privilege and understanding exactly why they voted for Donald Trump, which is centered around race, that I do not like to engage with. Mm-hmm. But to your point,
people with privilege. So the people with privilege, I don't want to engage with. Did I hear that wrong? Hold on.
A lot of people with privilege and understanding exactly why they voted for Donald Trump, which is centered around race, that I do not like.
So they voted for Trump because of race. People with privilege voted for Trump because of race, and the fact that she's trying to say something without actually saying it. I don't know if y'all are confused. I don't even know what she just meant. But I guess my takeaway would be is when you say people with privilege and then say that made it about race, I assume you're talking about white people and white privilege. So you're saying that all the people, like all white people that have privilege, because I'm pretty sure she's the type of person that would acknowledge that, oh, all white people have white privilege. Okay, cool. I'm not here to argue about that. But based on what she just said, people with privilege, they only made it about race. So are you insinuating that just white people that voted for Trump only voted for him because of race? This is their mindset. This is why they feel why they don't feel the need to have to ever address their policies. They think that this is just a race thing. They don't understand that somebody like me could say, no, I don't want to vote for people who won't acknowledge what a woman is. I don't want to vote for somebody who is cool with having drag queens reading books to little kids. I don't want to vote for somebody who's putting policies in California where if I have a son and he goes to school and feels like or tells the teachers that he's a girl and to call him instead of Daniel, call him Danielle, that teacher doesn't need to tell me that. I don't agree with a lot of these policies, especially from a cultural standpoint. I don't agree with y'all just incentivizing and allowing millions of migrants to come here illegally and put them in cities where the infrastructure is already terrible enough for those people living in poverty. But it never goes beyond race with these people. So therefore, that's why they never understand that Charlamagne is talking about.
Like to engage with. Mm-hmm. But to your point, if I think about where I grew up, if I think about people who I may not talk to anymore, but high school, college, whatever it may be, they probably did vote for Donald Trump for whatever reason it may be. And so what is the conversation? Is it the economy? But then continue to ask all those questions. Yeah. Is it because you believe this trope that other people are taking your jobs, but the reality is it's these billionaires not paying you a fair wage? Like, what is...
Can we retitle an episode?
So, this is crazy. So she said a bunch of things there, and this is the hypocrisy. I want us to pay attention to what she said
because
about the billionaires. The billionaires.
Hold on. This trope that other people are taking your jobs, but the reality is it's these billionaires not.
You believe this trope that other people are taking your job, but in reality, it's the billionaires. It's the billionaires that what? Did she say something after that?
This trope that other people are taking your jobs, but the reality is it's these billionaires not paying you a fair wage. Like what?
It's these billionaires that pay you a fair wage, she said. So I assume that she's saying that it's the reality that it's the billionaires that don't pay you a fair wage. So I assume that that's what she was saying. Making that assumption, this is exactly what we've been talking about for a very long time. These Democrats want to try to convince people to hate the billionaires, to hate the people that have been successful enough to create businesses that afford people that have not had that level of success the right to have a job, the right to get a consistent paycheck every 2 weeks, to put food on their table, to go on vacations, to live life, to not deal with the stresses that come with starting and creating and building your business or on your own, and not just going to work for somebody else who built their business. They talk about paying a fair wage. She's talking about paying a fair wage. So let's kind of relate this to the tariffs. So we have an issue with Trump charging tariffs, right? Okay, cool. Because it's going to increase the price of products that we have to buy from either Amazon, Target, or Walmart. So the very same people that think it's so important for Americans to have livable wages and get paid fairly, but when it comes to other countries that make our products, and the reason why they're able to make cheap products is because they're using sweatshops with kids and cheap labor, right? They're doing all these things. We don't care about that. We don't care about saying, you know what? I'm a humanitarian. I care about people outside of just America, right? I care about, clearly a lot of the Democrats care about what's going on in the Middle East, care about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, you care about all those things. Russia invaded, right? Israel is committing a genocide, right? Isn't that a lot of the talking points on that side? So if you care about people in other regions, then wouldn't you also care about the fact that the only reason why we're able to have these cheap products compared to American-made products is because that they're producing them in sweatshop slave-like labor systems? Or do we just not care about that? It's a whole bunch of hypocrisy when it comes to them. And the reason why it's a whole bunch of hypocrisy, in my opinion, is because they have tunnel vision. They surround themselves with people that think the same way as them, that live in their bubble. Just like she said, she doesn't feel the need to speak to anybody else outside of her bubble. And then she clarified and said, well, more so just the people that have privilege and voted just race. So you're not going to speak to any white people that don't agree with you 100%? So because a white person voted for Trump, they're automatic. This is insane. This is insane. And people like her have been put in a position of power. And we see how it has shifted and shaped our culture.
Can we retitle an episode in the middle of a show? Can we get our guy to do that? And this can just be crazy leftist bitches saying useless nonsense. Would that work with the YouTube algorithm? I'm not sure. Just nothing. I'm not going to talk to Trump supporters.
Apologies for the language. Yeah. I wonder if she truly believes that, or and see, this is the thing. How did he respond? Now he responds. Now the pendulum swings the complete opposite way. Dave, what's his name again? Dave Rubin. He knows damn well he shouldn't be saying that. Is it right? Do a lot of y'all hear me talk about a lot of the especially in particular black women that are on the Democratic Party, but should he be calling them that? I don't think so. Why would you like it? This is the pendulum swing completely back the other way. Now y'all could say, well, if you feel that way, then why wouldn't it be okay to say it? Because it just continues to create more division. It doesn't help the situation. It doesn't help the situation you calling her a B because she said something super ignorant, which I agree, that pisses me off, that I think misleads our country. But then we see the pendulum swing back the other way. So life is amazing. Don't y'all ever forget that. Life is amazing. All right, so let's move on to, I want to play for y'all. I thought, why is it not even? All right, so apparently I don't have it saved. So I want to play for y'all this interview. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. And my fault. Steve wrote, so I wonder if she truly believes that, or if she is another mouthpiece that intentionally spreads the propaganda to forward the agenda. Steve, I'm gonna be honest. I go back and forth on this one. Like, does she really believe this dumb stuff? Like, does she really support like how she's coming across? Like, does that, like, when when you play sports, you go back and watch the film, right? You go back and watch the tape. And even before you watch the tape, you kind of know when, damn, I messed up on this play. To the point where it's like you know you got to watch film in front of sometimes it's the entire team, sometimes it may just be your position group, whatever. you're dreading getting ready to watch the film because you know, like, dang, this play I did terrible on. It's embarrassing. When they go back and watch it, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that they're looking at it like that. When Jasmine Crockett goes back and watches the tape of the things that she's saying, matter of fact, in a recent interview, not Colbert, she was on what's the other guy? Jimmy Kimmel, I think she was on one of these late night TV shows. And even if you see how she's conducting herself, and she made the comment saying that, well, you know, it when you're talking about, pretty much, I'm going to paraphrase, but she was saying, well, you know, I've gotten some of the most attention from the stuff that I was saying, that she didn't use this word, but that wasn't politically correct. And she's addicted to the attention. So that's why she continues to behave in these matters. So I don't even think that they're seeing it when they go back and look at it like, dang, I was bugging on this. I don't think they're looking at it like that. G wrote, is all of this based out of self-interest and where each person gets their money, or is it personal values? Interesting to find out. I think it's self-interest that compromise the personal values. And what do I mean by that? I think that this is one of those things where we've talked about in different areas where you have a particular group of people that have been convinced that they've been oppressed. So now they embrace this victim mentality. So then when you have two groups, one that doesn't acknowledge your victimhood and the other group that says, oh yeah, well, yeah, you're a victim. Like, oh, whatever you need, we're going to empower you. You know, we're going to give you money. We're going to put you on TV. We're going to platform you. We're going to give you opportunities, but, you know, rock with us, you know, push our message. So they end up compromising their morals based out of self-interest in order to receive whatever empowerment, whether that's a financial empowerment, whether it's an emotional empowerment, whatever it may, professional, whatever it may be. They compromise their morals, or never were raised to have a certain level of particular morals, just in order to satisfy the self-interest that comes with the things that the Democratic Party are offering these women, in my opinion. Shout out to my brother Bug in the building. So that's how I look at it. I don't know. You guys tell me. All right. Let me, Letitia James. Hold on. It wasn't this interview. Hold on. One second. Give me a second. Oh my God. What was the lady's name? Avery. Hold on. I have it in my history. I'm tripping. This interview, I gotta show y'all this. Oh my God, how the hell is this not showing up? My apologies. I promise y'all I had this. You know what? Hold on. Letitia James interview. What the heck? Hold on. I gotta show y'all this. Give me a second. Do me a favor while y'all got it. When you finally find it, this should have been saved. I feel like it is saved to my watch later. I didn't save it to the other one. All right, so y'all check this out, and we're gonna try to get through as much as we can. We're not gonna obviously get through the entire interview, but there's certain things that need to be pointed out in this, certain things, and it's hilarious.
Live from Los Angeles,
where justice, truth, and accountability take center stage. I'm your host, Areva Martin, and today we are honored to...
Where justice, truth, and accountability. That's what she says she's standing on. So as we go through this interview, I want y'all to be reminded of this intro that she's making.
Welcome to the special report where justice, truth, and accountability take center stage. I'm your host, Areva Martin, and today we are honored to welcome a woman who has been on the front lines of the fight to uphold the rule of law and protect our democracy. From taking on some of the most powerful interests in the country to standing up for everyday New Yorkers, Attorney General Letitia James has become a force to be reckoned with, and she's here with us for an exclusive conversation. Thank you so much, Attorney General James, for joining us today. You indeed have become a nationally known figure for holding Donald Trump and his organizations accountable through your historic, civil fraud case against him. But Let's get to what's happening today. We know from the New York Times and other publications that you are on Donald Trump's adversary list and that he's, quote unquote, coming for you. The Federal Housing Finance Agency sent a criminal referral letter to the Department of Justice just last week saying that you falsified records about real estate properties you own and that you should be prosecuted for mortgage fraud. What do you say to those very serious allegations that Trump and team have lobbed against you, Attorney General?
So, Areva, it's great to see you, and it's an honor and a privilege to be on your podcast. And my response is, it's baseless. Listen, Donald Trump is on a revenge tour, and he finally got up to the J's. And so it's my time. And so the allegations are baseless. I'm not going to litigate them in the media. We will respond at the appropriate time. And
if you're not going to litigate them in the media, why do you keep doing these interviews where the focus is the charges that are against you or the accusations that have been made against you? You keep having this baseless response. Did you do it or did you not? She's picking and choosing her words very carefully. What does baseless even mean? And why is it, let me ask y'all this question. Why is it when Letitia James, the Democrats, their Department of Justice hates Donald Trump and charge Donald Trump with something, it's not revenge, it's not because we don't like him, it's not, it's just the righteous thing to do because nobody's above the law. But then when something is brought against them, it's just revenge. Did you sign the paperwork or not saying that you were living in Virginia when you were the Attorney General of New York? That making that your primary residence? Did you say that, yes or no? Did you say that your father was your husband? If you didn't do it, then you wouldn't have to litigate it in the court of public opinion. You could just say no. She can ask a question. Did you sign something, or is there paperwork with your power of attorney or whatever? However, is there paperwork that says that your father is your husband? Is there paperwork that says that your primary residence is in Virginia while you were the New York Attorney General? That's a simple no. Or I guess the only time it's complicated is when the answer is yes. Let's keep going.
In the appropriate fashion. I just want all of you to know that I, again, stand up each and every day to defend the rule of law and the Constitution and to do my job without fear and or without favor. And we will continue to make sure that we protect vulnerable and marginalized populations here in the great state of New York and all individuals, obviously, who love liberty.
You know, and I completely understand. Thank you for that response.
Yeah.
I know you can't litigate and shouldn't be litigating just these, as you call them, baseless charges against you. There's not even been any kind of formal announcement of charges against you. So I know it's, way too soon to talk about it, but it does seem like a tit for tat. So you prosecute civilly Donald Trump for financial fraud, essentially, get this historic $450 million judgment against him. And now, as you said, he gets to the J's on his adversary list and he comes after you for essentially some form of financial fraud.
When she says that it's tit for tat, is the tat the only bad part, or is the tit bad too? Sounds crazy. Like, this is tit for tat. So are you accusing her of being tit for, like, I'm just trying to figure it out. And I also want y'all to pay attention to, watch the progression of this woman, Areva Martin. She started off saying, like, talking about at least better than the last interview that we saw, she actually brought up the stuff that Letitia James is being accused of. Then the last thing she said, well, you're saying that they're baseless. Watch what happens as we move forward.
There has to be some irony in this for those that are watching this play out in real time.
So yeah, you've got some of his followers, these MAGA Republicans, very conservative individuals, who obviously have done a lot of digging into my background, and again, and have come up with, some baseless allegations. And again, it's in response to the fact that we secured a 454.
Lock them up. Lock her up. Nobody's above the law. Now, like they said, there's no criminal charges against her. Not yet. Not yet. But there's a whole lot of people that wanted to lock Trump up for what? For what? Did we really think that what Trump did, he deserved to be locked up? But a whole lot of y'all were pushing for it. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about the liberals, the crazy ones, the ones that do have that Trump derangement syndrome. Do y'all got the same energy towards her? Crime is a crime, right? All right.
$4 million judgment against Donald Trump for exaggerating his assets because he inflated his assets to secure favorable insurance and mortgage terms. And now they want.
Yo, listen to what she just described that Donald Trump did. It literally sounds like she's talking about exactly what she's being accused of doing. Like he exaggerated something in order to have more favorable mortgage terms. Like, think about that.
His assets against Donald Trump for exaggerating his assets because he inflated his assets to secure favorable insurance and mortgage terms. And now they want to turn the tide on me. And again, we will respond accordingly. And I want everyone to know that I took an oath to the Constitution, to the rule of law, to New Yorkers, and that's what I do each and every day.
Each and every day.
And I think it's important for folks to know the charges are so baseless. These are allegations dating back decades ago in the early 1980s. And I am so honored and excited that you're going to fight these charges. Glad to hear that you plan to vigorously defend yourself against these baseless charges. But Attorney General James, we have to imagine that Donald Trump is doing this for a reason. Obviously, he hates you because you were so successful in your civil claim against him, but also to send a message to others that if you do try to hold Donald Trump accountable in the court of law, that you too could find yourself the subject of a criminal investigation and possibly a prosecution from his Department of Justice. Is that likely to have a chilling effect on other attorney generals?
Yo, did y'all just hear? I told y'all, pay attention to what she started off saying. Like, you're saying it's baseless. She completely went crash out mode. I don't know whether she got a text saying, no, you need to say it's baseless, Areva. She completely changed her position. Aren't you a journalist? Like, I'm just going to go back and listen to the first part. Hold on.
Attorney General to vigorously fight 80 allegations dating
and every.
The charges are so baseless. These are allegations dating back decades ago.
These are allegations dating back decades ago. What are you talking about, man? These are not allegations. Listen.
In the early 1980s, and
I don't even know what she's talking about. She's saying that the allegations go back decades ago. Maybe I'm bugging. But no, these allegations don't go back. And maybe y'all know I'm a Chat GPT guy. So it is what it is. I know sometimes they make some mistakes, but when I went on Chat GPT, it said New York Attorney General Letitia James became a co-borrower on a Norfolk, Virginia property in August 2023. She granted power of attorney to her niece, Shamise Thompson Hairston, on August 17, 2023, to facilitate the purchase of the home, which was completely shortly thereafter. Well, according to Letitia James, Donald Trump was responsible for this stuff, even if he wasn't the one that signed it. She's saying that this happened decades ago. What are you talking about, man? This is while she was Attorney General 2023. How How do these people get in these positions? I know y'all the most educated, but damn, it's not coming across that way, right? Y'all the most. What's going on here?
I am so honored and excited that you're going to fight these charges.
I'm so honored and excited that you're going to fight these charges. What are we talking about? You're honored and I don't know. I guess when you look at life from a certain vantage point where I'm aligning myself with anybody, if they're black, that's who I'm leaning with. That's who I'm aligning myself with. If they're a woman, if they're a black woman, oh, I'm definitely aligning myself with them. I don't care what happened. I don't care what, nope. I guess when you look at the world like that, then the rest of this stuff makes sense. This is insane.
To hear that you plan to vigorously defend yourself against these baseless charges. But Attorney General James, we have to imagine that Donald Trump is doing this for a reason. Obviously, he hates you because you were so successful in your civil claim against him, but also to send a message to others that if you do try to hold Donald Trump accountable in the court of law, that you too could find yourself the subject of a criminal investigation and possibly a prosecution from his Department of Justice. Is that likely to have a chilling effect?
You're damn right. You hold me to a certain standard, you're damn right I'm holding you to that same standard. People forget that Donald Trump could have locked Hillary up. He could have put some charges against her for what she did with the whole Russia collusion thing. People forget about that. A lot of people never actually looked into what happened in that type of situation. He could have went after her. Not saying that he would have won, not saying any of this. He decided to not go after her. But if you're going to hold me to a certain standard, Letitia James, you damn well right. You better be ready to be held to that same standard. Right? Nobody's above the law, right? Every day. That's what you said, that you're holding. Come on, man. Let's move on. Let's move on. This is disgusting journalism. Disgusting journalism. And Steve, I like that quote that you said. I'm reminded of the quote, the Karl Marx quote, accuse your enemies of doing what you're doing as you are doing it to create confusion. Man, oh man, oh man. All right, so we're moving on. Let's move on to this Trump $5,000 for a baby. Let's move on to this. Hold on one second. We got it shared. Oh, I like this new feature that I got. Oh, it was already up. I like that new feature. All right. Let's get into my boy Robbie. Let's get into the conversation. We got a new lady on the hill. Let's talk about it. Hold on, we're muted.
Fertilization president, if elected? Well, remember when President Trump was campaigning and said he'd be the fertilization president, if elected? Well, now his administration is actually thinking about ways to increase the declining birth rate, per the New York Times.
Here are a couple of proposals that the White House has reportedly heard. So reserve 30% of Fulbright scholarships for applicants with children or who are married. The Fulbright program is a government-backed international academic exchange fellowship. There's also a $5,000 baby bonus to every mother after she delivers, or government funding of menstrual cycle education.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told The Times in a statement the president wants America to be a country where all children can safely grow up and achieve the
graph back up. It says government birth rate increase ideas pitched to the White House, government funding of menstrual cycle education, $5,000 baby bonus to every mother after she delivers. Definitely with that. Yeah, I'm cool with my tax dollars going to that. If you know, I just am. You know, some people may say, I don't want my tax dollars going to anything. People take care of their own stuff. I totally understand that as well. Reserve 30% of Fulbright scholarships for applicants with children. Not really with that one, just off the top of my head. But let's keep going.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told The Times in a statement the president wants America to be a country where all children can safely grow up and achieve the American dream. As a mother myself, I'm proud to work for a president who is taking significant action to leave a better country for the next generation. Trump also said the $5,000 baby bonus proposal sounded like a good idea. Now, many on the right have been sounding the alarm when it comes to the birth rate for quite some time. In response to new CDC data on the declining birth rate, Elon Musk is doing something about the birth rate himself. He wrote on X, low birth rates will end civilization.
Extreme. Meanwhile, journalist Kat Tenbarge wrote on Blue Sky, quote, when conservatives talk about fertility tracking as a way to increase the birth rate, they really don't know what they want women to know when they're able to get pregnant. They want women to stop taking birth control and get pregnant by accident.
Well, I don't know if we don't want people to get pregnant by accident. I don't want that. What are your thoughts on this subject? I'll let you go first.
Well, listen, kids are expensive. So $5,000 because I just had a baby is not going to really change the trajectory of the 18 years that I'm responsible for this individual.
I mean, I'm sure.
What? Did she just say that $5,000 will not make a significant difference in the 18 years that she has a baby? Ma'am, it doesn't need to be a significant difference in 18 years. But perhaps it's a significant difference when you're having the baby in the first month, the first 2 months, the first 3 months, the first year. Huh? Like, sorry, yeah, I agree. The fact that she's on here talking about, like, this is the same thing as Jasmine Crockett saying $5,000. That ain't nothing. Who are the real elites? If you think that $5,000, who are these people that $5,000 is not making a significant impact in their life right now? Who are these people? Like, this is, the level. Let me ask y'all this. How much does she think that, like, how much would be suitable in her opinion? Like, what, like, it's like the level of entitlement. This is insane. But then I have to remind myself that it's just because Trump did it. It's because of Trump's administration. They're the ones that are contemplating this. Because there's not anybody on this planet, in my opinion, that would think that when you look at our country, especially with everybody living check to check, we're all complaining about the economy, the price of this going up, and she's talking about $5,000 ain't going to be nothing in the 18 years. Ma'am, it's not about if you spread it out over 18 years, if you spread your salary out over, you get what I'm saying? Like, it. Oh my God, people are just, this is, damn, this is where we at. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. $5,000 ain't doing anything. I cannot wait to get in a position where $5,000 is not significant to me. I can't wait. I look forward to being like Lindsey Granger, however you pronounce it. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing it. I can't wait to get to a position where $5,000 ain't ish.
Sure, it'll be a nice thing, though.
A nice thing, but
new parents are gonna refuse the check.
When you talk about how much a kid costs, I think it's a small dent in the extreme financial undertaking that
you're saying this from personal experience.
And so, hold on. So good point. Oh, shout out to Unk in the building. So Shay wrote, if you need $5,000 to have a baby, maybe you shouldn't have one. Consideration. I'm not offended by that. But what I also would say is that you realize that it's to incentivize people to have more babies. We can say whether somebody should or shouldn't. The reality is the only reason why most people are living check to check is because we live beyond our means. We buy stuff that we can't afford, all these different things. So I'm not saying that, I'm not making excuses for it. But when you are the leader of a country and you look at the population and you say, birth rates are declining among certain groups or among the entire country. When you look at the entire country, birth rates are decreasing, right? Let's actually hold on, because I looked up one thing and I want to make sure that I'm consistent with looking up the other. Bub, do me a favor. Look up whether all birth rates have increased or are decreasing overall in the country. Because I only looked at for that particular video that we're getting ready to show after this. Appreciate you. I understand it from that position where it's like, hey, if we need more kids, just like China made certain decisions like, hey, no more kids, or you could have this amount of kids, you could have this. We're not, I don't think it could be like that. You know what I mean? Like they trying to take more control. Obviously I'm not promoting that, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective. There's a lot of things that we use money to incentivize people to do. So in this case, I have absolutely no issue with that. I have absolutely no issue with this. Just from a standpoint, when you look at how we are not having kids, we're having kids late, we're waiting to have kids. I think that is hurting our country in a lot of ways. But to your point, if you need 5,000, if you need it, just say yes or no.
I checked it. I gave you the stat.
Well, now I got to read it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Overall. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So yes, birth rates are decreasing overall.
No, only by certain races.
No, but overall America. Never mind. I want you to look at
America. It increased, but by race it decreased.
Oh, okay. So let me correct. Overall, it increased slightly, but the races that it decreased, where it declined 4% for Black women. So the birth rates declined 4% for Black women, 3% for American Indian and Alaska Native women, and less than 1%. Hold up. So we got to have this combo, bub, because that goes against what. All right. So let me say this again. Because y'all don't know the video that I'm getting ready to play. Matter of fact, hold on. Do I say that? So it declined 4% for Black women, 3% for American Indian and Alaska Native women. I don't even know what that means, but what that group is, to be told. I guess they're talking about Native Americans. Okay, cool. It declined less than 1% for white women. So the decrease was more for Black people. So all the people that say that Donald Trump, he hates Black people, he's literally trying to incentivize and address a problem that would actually be more favorable to helping the decrease in birth rate with Black children compared to other races. Because what I heard and what a lot of people like to say is that, oh, the only reason why Donald Trump wants to, or Project 2025, why they want to create this abortion ban is because the white birth rate is, the birth rate is higher compared to the amount of white people that are dying off and all this other stuff. So based on this stat, just this stat, limited to just this, just pretty, I don't know. There's just a little irony there, I guess I would say. But let's keep going. Because we'll talk about this more when we get onto the conversation, what Sonny Hostin's response was to this exact situation. Let's keep going.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You have a young child.
Yes, I have a 3-year-old. So I think that, there's a lack of comprehensive support. So while some of these programs are idealistic and sometimes offensive, because like one of them said, there's a...
And also, Shay say, serious question. I guess if you need $5,000, like, I don't know, I guess that need word would be important, because the majority of people, I think in America, depending on how you use that word, need $5,000. Bub, you need $5,000? Yep. So I don't know if only people who didn't need $5,000 could have kids. I don't think we'd have many kids. Or let me rephrase that. If the people who need $5,000 could not have kids, I don't think that we'd have a lot of kids being born. The majority of people need $5,000. You know how you determine whether or not you need $5,000? Your next $5,000 out of your paycheck. If let's say that you make $2,500 a week or $2,500 every 2 weeks. So your $5,000 would accumulate over that whole month. The majority of Americans, I don't think, could go a month without getting paid. I don't think the majority of Americans could go the next time period of saying, hey, that next $5,000 that my job's getting ready to pay me, I can go without that. I don't think the majority, when you say the majority of Americans are living check to check, the majority of Americans need 5,000. Is that fair to say?
Yes. And additionally, that 5,000 could be a whole extra month of maternity leave.
Right. So Maya was saying that it also could help with maternity leave, you being able to stay home a little bit more, even if you're not getting paid from your job. So, but I get your point. I still understand what you're saying, and I'm not excusing the fact that the majority of us shouldn't be living check to check. And the reason why the majority of us are living check to check is because of personal decisions that we make to live beyond our means. So you're 100% right, Shay Shay. You're 100% right. But the question based on the reality that I'm wondering in my head is, well, damn, who don't need $5,000? Like who doesn't need $5,000? I need $5,000. Like, to be clear, hit the super chat right now. I need let me stop. I'm just joking, but y'all understand the point that I'm making.
National Medal of Motherhood got floated to President Trump, meaning an award for moms with more than 6 kids. I mean, that's like laughable. Like you can have kids if you want to, but also you're getting awarded. So if you don't, then you're getting discouraged. If you don't have kids at all, you can't be a Fulbright scholar.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Esteemed individuals who have creative minds go on to do, and intellectuals, you can't have that opportunity.
I don't agree. I'm with her on this one. I'm definitely with her on this one. Let me change real quick. I want to go to this clip from Fox that they did reviewing what Sonny Hostin's response was to this policy being contemplated by the Trump administration.
Trump is considering a $5,000 baby bonus check to help the cost of raising a little one and to combat declining birth rates. But leave it to The View to call it, wait for it, racist.
In 2024, there was a 1% increase in U.S. births. But that increase was with Hispanic mothers and Asian mothers. So they don't seem to be concerned about that increase. They seem to be more concerned about a decrease in other populations.
Say it.
No, I think I said enough.
You have to read between the lines.
That is extremely misleading by what she said. So when I heard that, immediately, when they say, oh, other populations are decreasing, she's trying to make it seem as if just the white population, birth rates population is decreasing. That's why Joy Behar is in the back saying, say it. Yeah, you should have said it. You should have said, actually, the decrease is more amongst Black people. But she's trying to push a particular, this is how slighted things are with people, especially that watch The View. Be aware of this. Listen to this again, and y'all tell me if you get the same, if you get an accurate understanding of what is actually going on compared to how she presents it. Listen to it again.
To The View to call it, wait for it, racist.
In 2024, there was a 1% increase in U.S. births. But that increase was with Hispanic mothers and Asian mothers. So they don't seem to be concerned about that increase. They seem to be more concerned about a decrease in other populations.
Say it.
No, I think I said enough.
You have to read between the lines.
I just gave the stats.
I mean, Greg, talk about a lazy argument. It's racist.
So this also just symbolizes, in my opinion, where there's such a disconnect between the Democrats that are elites, the elite Democrats like a Sonny Hostin. This is where the disconnect is between them, because they think that they think because they're Black or Spanish that they're just down and connected with the impoverished community, the culture, right? If that's the case, that birth rates are increasing among Hispanics and Asians, then I guess that would benefit Hispanics. Hispanics that are having babies out here and don't live a life like Sonny Hostin, they're probably looking at it like, shoot, I'm finna benefit from this. So it's like there's so many different sides to look at it here. My takeaway is that if Trump presents it, people are just gonna hate it. If these same things were presented to the Democrats, and it's so funny that I've had conversations where I'm learning about when Trump got in office. I think my parents, like, there's something that they had to pay a little bit less on or something. I forget exactly what it was, or they didn't get as much back during taxes or something. There was something like that. But most Democrats and liberals can understand that perspective. But when it comes to, I guess, support in other areas, it's back to that mentality of, Trump did it? Nah, we ain't rocking with it. And it's the whole hustling backwards, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. All right, so hold on. Let me catch up with some of these comments. So Unc wrote, if we need more kids, birth rate for the Black population has been decreasing over the past 56 years or so. We've gone from 11 of majority down to 9%. Population, interesting. What determines if someone needs 5K? That's the question that I was asking, Ant. Like I just wanted us to have a clear, not to say that this is the definition that we're rocking, but just to make sure that we're having the same conversation. Or looking at, whatever it is that we're discussing, we're on the same page. So Unc wrote, if he gave us a $5,000 tax credit each year that you had a child for the child's duration of life over the course of 18 years, that would make a difference. I agree. I definitely would agree. Ant wrote, Dak is the type of guy to finally agree with something the person he's reporting on, then switch topics for fun. Laugh my ass off. Whoa. What did I agree on? Oh, he's talking about the last video. No, I agree with plenty of stuff that the liberals say. Ant. I agree with certain stuff. I just disagree with a whole lot more. But nah, I didn't switch. I didn't switch it because of that. I've already seen the video, and they're getting ready to talk about whatever. Don't let me start talking about what Ant's the type. See, y'all know I'm a petty, and I was about to say another word, but I'm a petty guy at times. Steve wrote, I think that both hosts are only presenting a counter narrative that their listeners can use to form their opinion and have a talking point on the subject. And that's what my biggest issue was with it. It's like the people that watch The View, they have a huge audience. Now those people are walking away because they're not doing their research. I don't think the majority of the people that watch The View are doing their research. I don't even think the majority of people that watch Fox are doing their research. I think the majority of people that tap into YouTube, tap into Twitter, tap into like all these other areas, I think those are the people that are actually doing research because they're going beyond mainstream media outlets to receive new information. So what happens is when Sonny Hostin presents it that way, now people are going to be running around saying Donald Trump, he's only doing this 5K bonus because the white birth rates have decreased, and not even understand that, well, actually the Black birth rates decreased more. So that's that's my kind of stance on it. But American children are American children, regardless of what color they are. It's American children, facts, which is why I'm glad that it's just across the board, $5,000. $5,000. Ant wrote, I agree to the tax credit idea. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm definitely with that. If it's incentivizing, if population decrease is really a problem, I think that it should be addressed. I think that we got to address it. Hopefully we can address it culturally to the point where we wouldn't even have to have incentivization of $5,000. It could just be something that we actually aspired to do. But I also got to take into consideration this as well, where of course the birth rates are going to decrease for a very long time. Just look at our generations. Our grandparents had a lot of kids. Why did my grandparents on my dad's side my dad's the youngest of 9? Why? Because he's the only one that wasn't born on a sharecropping farm. So if you're a sharecropper, if you're working on a farm, then you need the kids to help out on the farm. So you looked at your kid more as an asset as far as work-wise and being able to contribute financially or being able to contribute in other ways to support the family. So I understand that there has to be some sort of balance, and I've never really looked into, well, if birth rates decrease, what is this going to look like? I have heard the argument, just being honest, where even with the abortion stuff, where they were saying that the amount of, and this was specific to white people, they were saying the amount of white people, the death rates are surpassing the birth rates. So, and I'm not even if I thought about it from that standpoint, and there was something done to incentivize that. If let's say if they said, okay, boom, we're just gonna credit white Americans because white Americans are the ones whose birth rates are, or the death rates are surpassing the birth rates. Now, me as somebody that does not embrace DEI, my stance would be like, nah, we're not doing that, right? But the people that do embrace DEI, would you have an issue with it? I'm just wondering, but let's keep moving on. Let's move on. I don't want to get caught up on this. I just wanted to troll y'all a little bit. All right, so let's look at where we're going to go. let's look at this Michelle Obama. I want to look at this Michelle Obama. Hold on, let me pull this up for you guys. I should have had this pulled up. My apologies. Are we going to do anything on X? Hold on, let me scroll through here real quick. I know we had a couple videos on X. All right, let's break it up. Let's break it up real quick. We got a funny video for y'all. All right, so in honor of the draft that was happening yesterday, we'll play this video and then we'll get into the Michelle Obama video. I thought this was funny. I saw this earlier. So it was, hold on, let me see what it says. It says top 5 girlfriend moments of the NFL draft. Yeah, all right, let's take a look. Let me just make sure that it's shared. And then we'll get into this Michelle Obama video. All right, where you at? Where you at? She thought she won. Sierra said, nah. Like, yo, don't touch the phone. Don't touch the phone. Like, don't do that. I think this was the funniest one. This is the funniest one of my mom's like, yo, if you don't get your ass up, like, stop playing with me. This one, all right, so this one, Pops is wilding. Pops need to get checked. Doing this on national TV. Doing this, period. Pops need to get checked, but definitely doing this on Pops trolling. This is one of those relationships, in my opinion, I don't know who this is, Lucas Van Ness. I'm just speculating from afar. This is one of those relationships where your Pops think that, oh, I'm still the man of the house, or therefore, like, you know, your chick, that's, yeah, you know, I could play around with your chick. Like, this is a weird dynamic here, because slapping my girl on the butt, bro, that needs to be addressed right then and there. Certain things need to be addressed right then and there. Look at this. Give her a little tap. Gave her 2 taps. Hold up. Gave her 2 taps. Nah. Nah, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Hold on. Let me catch up with some of these comments. Unc wrote, I don't embrace the DEI either. I believe a person should be judged by the overall educational value of what they can put into a business. I'm with you 100%. That's how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. All right, so let me shoot, man, I thought I had these all in. My apologies. Some of this stuff I did not have in order for y'all. That's all my bad. So we'll get into this Rainn Wilson conversation first. Then we'll do the Michelle Obama. We'll do the Rainn Wilson, unless I see this right here. Hold on 1 second. Because I'd rather do the Michelle Obama. All right, so let's do the Hill first. Let's do the Michelle Obama video first. We've been stuck on the Hill. We gotta give the Hill some royalties for all these videos that we're using from them. So we definitely got to show them some love. All right, so let's get into this Michelle Obama conversation. Let's get into this Michelle Obama conversation. Did I do everything that I wanted to? All right, boom, 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 boom.
The former First Lady did what most girls do when they don't have a perfect outfit for an event. Just skip it.
In the latest episode of her podcast, IMO, Michelle Obama finally reveals why she missed President Trump's inauguration. Take a look.
Basically trick myself out of it. And it started with not having anything to wear. I mean, I had affirmatively, because I'm always prepared for any funeral, anything. I walk around with the right dress. I travel with clothes just in case something pops off. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if I'm not going to do this thing, I gotta tell my...
She's trying to be somebody she's not, just in case something pops off. Like, this is so embarrassing. This is what, I think this is what people mean when they say cringe. Michelle, you could just be you. You don't have to try to appeal to something when something pops off. Like, what are you talking about? That's not how you speak.
If I'm not going to do this thing, I gotta tell. I walk around with the right dress. I travel with clothes just in case something pops off. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if I'm not going to do this thing, I gotta tell my team, I don't even want to have a dress ready.
She further explains her rationale. Let's watch.
While I'm here really trying to own my life and intentionally practice making the choice that was right for me, and it took everything in my power to not do the thing that was right or that was perceived as right, but do the thing that was right for me.
Michelle also addresses how her choice made headlines and garnered outrage.
My decision to skip the inauguration, you know, what people don't realize, or my decision to make choices at the beginning of this year that suited me were met with such ridicule and criticism. Like, people couldn't believe that I was saying no for any other reason, that they had to assume that my marriage was falling apart,
Right.
you know?
She also skipped President Jimmy Carter's funeral in January. So it sounds like she just didn't want to go. No way, no how. She didn't like Donald Trump. She didn't want to be back in the spotlight in that way. And yeah, she said she was ready. She was dressed to go, but did not, or could have been dressed to go, but was absolutely against the idea of ever going in the first place. So I don't know what else there's to say. She don't want to go. It's her choice. She's not obligated to.
I also think the outrage is interesting because no is a full answer, especially from someone who is not a politician. I don't think we had the same criticism for President Trump when he skipped Biden's inauguration. And if he did, hats off. But I think it's important for people to understand context. Obama didn't skip it. This woman has autonomy, and she played nice, right? She made up "Let's Go High" when they go low for 8 years. When people were bothering her about her shoulders being out, people were bothering her about everyday appearances.
Well, that's what happens when you're in public life,
right? So she.
That's what happens when you're in public life. This is like these celebrities that complain, "Oh my God, leave me alone. I just want to be normal." Yeah, well, give back all the money and live a normal life financially then. Give back all the perks. Michelle, the only reason why you're relevant is because Barack Obama. Why do we play these games when it comes to this? To protect certain types of people's feelings. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Hold on. Michelle Badu. Hey, yo, stop it. Stop. Michelle Badu. That's a fact. If you don't support your man, go support your man. You know how many things that Barack Obama probably didn't want to attend, but he rocked out and attended because he probably thought it's the righteous thing to do? She jumping on here. It was the right decision, but not the right decision for me. I made the right decision for me. It's not just about you. You're married to Barack, right? You like the privileges that come with being married to Barack. You like the privileges that come with you being the first lady, right? You like all those privileges, the money that comes. Do you think that if you wrote that book that you wrote, that it would have been as big as if you weren't Barack Obama's wife? As if you weren't the first lady for 2 terms? It's like, and do whatever it is that you feel like. But in my opinion, like, you not going, deciding what was best for you, but your husband thought it was best for him. And maybe Barack doesn't care. Maybe Barack doesn't care. Cool. So whatever. Low key, if I was Obama, I'm upset she made me go to both of those things solo, but that's just me. And I'm glad you're voicing it. But then you got ladies like her on the show. She has autonomy. And like, what are we talking about? We're not talking about oppressing your right to vote or anything like that. We're talking about you supporting your husband. The same way that y'all black women on this show, and I'm saying black women specifically, would be talking about Barack if he didn't show up at something for Michelle that was supporting her. Y'all would have something to say. Oh, he should just be there to support his wife. He should just be there. Oh, well, he didn't want to go because he doesn't align with the group. He doesn't see eye to eye with that particular group, so he didn't want to go. Oh, but he should still go because it's not about that. It's about supporting his wife. Come on, bro. Stop it. Overall, her stock did go down. It don't sound good. Is this the problem with the degradation of the nucleus family? And you tell me. Don't ask the question. I didn't see you put a question mark. So you tell me. You tell me. Don't be asking me to say it. You tell me. G wrote, my team is that elitist, yet trying to associate us with who don't have teams and have to handle on our own. They are just so. I told my team, don't pack that dress. The only reason why you have a team is because your husband, man. If we're keeping it real. Are we a team or are we not? What team, right? The famous, remember the Titans? Are we a team or are we not? Are you my partner? We all want to be partners, right? So you want to be partners when it, okay, when it suits, oh, okay. Well, partner don't got to show up at everything. Oh, okay, I get it. He should be there to support his wife. Cool, facts. That's what I'm saying. I definitely would have been talking trash. Anthony's, I'm glad you keeping it real. Shout out, I love Anthony's. I promise you that. Anthony's, and I definitely would have been talking trash. Facts, as you should. As you should. I already know how the combo would have been. Oh, but Michelle Obama stood by Barack's side that whole time while he was president, and now he can't stand by her side. And y'all would have been totally disregarding the fact that y'all looking at it like Michelle stood by his side, rather than looking at it like Barack chose Michelle to stand by her side. Because what's the energy when it comes to a lot of black men when we become successful, right? When black men become successful, they date white. They go outside the race, or they get them the baddest light-skinned joint. They leave their brown joint that they've been dating their whole life, and then they go get a bad little. Isn't that what y'all say? Barack ain't do that. Barack did everything that y'all be saying that y'all complaining about other dudes not doing. Barack ain't do that. This is the most successful black man, one of the most successful men, period, because you're a president, professionally, right? And she over here making it seem as if, matter of fact, that Kevin Gates energy, what Kevin Gates said about LeBron, maybe we should have covered that, about Savannah, LeBron's wife. Maybe he should have directed that to Michelle Obama. She acting as if, oh my God, the stress of politics. This is my husband's dream, not my, ma'am. You are living a dream. Man, oh man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Shout out to Rosie in the building. Yo, make sure y'all like and subscribe if y'all are not already subscribed. This is insane, bro. Let's keep going.
Made a choice to stand by her husband for 8 solid years while he was in the public eye every single day. And I think when he's out of it and hasn't been present for years, she has the ability to have the autonomous decision to say, hey, this doesn't work for me and I'm a whole individual and I'm good.
What is this whole individual shit that, excuse my language. What is this whole individual stuff that I keep hearing? I heard Tracy Ellis Ross say it. I heard Michelle Obama say it. Now what is this whole, I'm a whole woman? What is that? Like, what is that about? Do I need to run around and start saying like I'm a whole, like what is not a whole, like, yo, y'all grab on to these talking points and these, it's like, oh my God. Let me get to the point that G made. Her avoidance of the event, yet speaking on her choice, is passive aggressive. If you wanted to avoid the event, just avoid the event. Now, she could speak on it, I guess, but it does. I agree with you. It's a passive aggressive energy. It's like, damn, like Barack, if I was Barack, I'd be like, yo, like I would just, like, yo, shut that, like, yo, stop. Like, stop saying that dumb stuff. Like that, I would literally, like, I would, if I was Barack, I would, because we got to support her podcast. I would tweet her podcast, like retweet it, you know what I'm saying? And just put LOL. That's all I would put. I would just retweet it and put LOL. So we support the pod, right? We put the pod out to all of my followers, right? All my supporters. But I would just write LOL. I would just write LOL. It's so funny how that grass becomes greener on the other side. And I see this in a lot of relationships. Where the things that you appreciated early on, as you move on, and you appreciated this person that you're dating success here. But then as you move on, it's like, the grass isn't green. The grass greener on the other side. You start looking at you damn near start resenting this person, it seems like. And it's because of culture. Culture convinces you, no, you should be living like this. Michelle Obama, you should be living like Tracy Ellis Ross and dating these young dudes. So now Michelle Obama has a less than appreciation for what she actually has. Barack Obama, family, like the picturesque black family, the picturesque American family. But now you're looking at it like, she damn near feeling oppressed. This is crazy. This is crazy. There's straight out evidence with Letitia's signature. Oh, Rosie's a little bit. Okay, Rosie, you're a little bit behind. Rosie, this is what I'm gonna ask you to do. Or I don't even know if she's gonna hear this. Somebody write in the chat to Rosie if you can. Just write Rosie, click live. Rosie, press live. Matter of fact, I'll write it. Don't worry about it. Rosie, press live. No, y'all do it. I gotta be okay with if somebody can do that for me. Ant wrote, I'm confused. Are they united as one, or are they confused about what the union of marriage is? I'm so confused. This is just crazy, bro. Let me catch up with y'all comments. My bad. If truly strong, do we announce I'm a whole anything? That's a fact. You can't take a backseat to being a celebrity. Facts. Like what? I want to know what Barack thinks about the feeling of men, especially black men that think the blue agenda is devaluing them. I think that's exactly what it is. What you said. She looking around. You already know how this goes. Anthony's. This is why Instagram is so bad. It's to the point where now women, they're not even, it's like you're not appreciating your husband enough to the point where the stuff that you're wearing, the clothes, the eyelashes, the hair, the BBLs, all these different things, you're doing to compete against other, like to get love from other women. Not even necessarily to compete with other women because I don't feel like I need to compete. So let me backtrack that. You're doing all this to be attracted to other women. So other women, when you post your photo on Instagram, other women will celebrate you. Now, you still love the DMs that the dudes do. You love those as well. You're doing it for that attention as well. But you're damn near moving in a way where you're trying to look attractive to other women and putting your husband on the back burner. The nerve of Michelle. Let's keep it real, Michelle. People in Barack's position don't usually end up with Michelle's. You would think that there would be a extra level of appreciation and gratitude. Not whatever this is that she's giving off in this podcast where I don't know. Obviously, we're just looking at this one clip on this show, but she's multiple times. It just seems like she's taking shots at Barack, like trying to make it seem like, life wasn't, it's not all peaches over here. Yes, it is all peaches, man. Your life is all peaches compared to the majority of of anybody. Let's keep going. My bad. Oh man, I promise y'all I'll catch up with these. Rosie press live. Hey, Anthony, appreciate that, Anthony. I'm reading it. Aunt Rosie press live. The reason, and I put it on the screen like she's looking at this. My bad. She'll see it in the chat. Unc wrote, the reason why no one knows LL Cool J's wife is because she's taking a back seat to being a celebrity wife. LL Cool J, Ja Rule. I didn't know Ja Rule was married. I just saw Styles with his wife. I know he's probably not as big of a celebrity, but yeah, there's a lot of folk like that. Denzel's wife. I want to know who is at the top of the blue ladder teaching women they don't need to stand by their man's side. I demand that answer as well. And does she tape this pod out of her Martha's Vineyard studio? No, I think she does this out of the other studio, the other $1 million mansion, multi-million-dollar mansion, right? Rosie. Oh yeah, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Rosie, the last few years of Rosie may be caught up. Oh, no, she's not. She's still on the Letitia. The last few years, a lot of black women in power have been getting busted for all types of corruption. All right. So, Aunt Ro G, Martha's Vineyard studio. That actually sounds dope. Dak, if you want to shoot a live in the vineyard, let me know. Aunt has a crib in Oak Bluffs. That'll be dope. Let's set it up, man. I've been asking Maya. Her uncle got a spot. I've been asking Maya for the longest. Like, yo, let's go up to Martha's Vineyard. So, yeah, I'm with that, bro. Let's set it up. You got to pull up, man. Like, let's do a Martha's Vineyard trip. Let's do a Martha's Vineyard meetup. All right, so hold on. Let's keep going. My fault. I didn't sidetrack y'all. I got sidetracked.
I'm not sure people were outraged that she didn't attend. They were more just curious. There were obviously rumors or gossip that it was some dispute that she was having with Barack himself. Those appear to just be rumors. Nothing has come of that. I don't know. It was just more a conspicuous absence. I wasn't mad that she didn't attend. I was just like, what's going on there?
All right, so we already beat that dead horse. Let's move on. Let's move on. I want to move on to this. Oh yeah, please make sure that you're liking and subscribing. I want to move on to this Shannon Sharpe situation. So Jason Whitlock had an interesting take on Shannon Sharpe. And matter of fact, do I start off with the Shaq video or do I start off with Shannon Sharpe? Let's just start with what's on the screen, right? Make it simple. Don't overcomplicate stuff, bro. I do that in life. I need to stop doing that. All right, let me share this tab with y'all. Hold on. Share the screen. Shannon Sharpe. That boy Shay Shay. Your man Shay Shay out here looking crazy. All right, let's but is he though? Is he? I don't know. Is he looking crazy? I don't know. I guess we're about to find out.
Twitter has turned on Shannon.
Nah, he looking crazy. He's looking crazy.
Sharpe. And people are like having a real conversation now about Shannon Sharpe. And we know that a lot of that is connected to this young girl that he's clapping cheeks with that is suing him, that he's threatening to choke or did choke. She's a white girl. And Black Twitter has turned on Snow Shay. That Snow Shay is the new OJ. And that Snow Shay and his affinity for white girls, which I told you about long ago, I've seen it on social media. Now people are quoting me everywhere because Shannon had the running joke that if you see me with a black woman, I'm holding her for the police. That was his running joke throughout his Broncos career, and everybody knows it. And that's why I used to be upset with the guy like, hey, man, you're on TV acting like you're Malcolm X, and you're taking all this dump on white people, and you're Louis Farrakhan. I'm like, bro, you got a type. And it's not that, black women aren't part of his resume or part of his history, but the man has a type, and quit going on TV acting like you hate white people, because you don't. Quit trying to, I love the fruit, but I hate the tree. That's phony. You can't love the fruit and hate the tree.
And real quick, and I saw your comments, and so I agree with just going back to real quick with Michelle. Clearly, she's looking for her own independence to break away from her husband's life. I agree. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I'm not going to lie. The rumors and the gossip is enough reason you don't make us look divided as the first black family. Shaking my head. Yeah. All right. So let's get on to this continue with this Shannon Sharpe situation. It's wild. It's wild. And I don't know if y'all know, but there's actually a tape that just came out with Shaq. No, it's Matt Barnes. It's a leaked audio where Matt Barnes is saying, yo, Shaq's looking for some information. I don't know who he's talking to, but he's saying Shaq's looking for some information. He willing to put up some bread on old boy. And apparently they're talking about Shannon Sharpe. So Shaq and Shannon Sharpe apparently have had a long feud. So I don't know if Shaq's behind this per se, but the audio, and I'm going to play the audio after this clip. The audio, it sounds a little crazy. But what are y'all thoughts on Shannon Sharpe, his situation? He, I guess, met a 19, 20-year-old, started dealing with her. Y'all have heard some of the tapes. I don't even need to play some of the tapes. But I'll give my opinion as we move on.
You can't love snow bunnies and hate the rabbit that produced the bunny. It doesn't happen like that, Snow Jay. And so now that this has been put in everyone's face because of this young girl that Shannon has gotten Shannon into trouble, Black Twitter has finally said, I'm done with Shannon Sharpe. Because now this thing is not just jeopardizing his ESPN career. Club Shay Shay's in trouble. His independent media career is in trouble because his brand doesn't seem to be able to survive these allegations from this young white girl. And people now are having a real discussion. And so let me play this clip of, this is SOT number 1. This is Shannon Sharpe, Ocho Cinco, and Gilbert Arenas. This is an old clip, but now it's been
Hold on. That's Antonice? Antonice? So Queens wrote, he's an old fool. Antonice wrote, warning comes before destruction. Antonice, I wasn't sure when I was getting ready to play this other clip, but because you said that, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to play this other clip, then I'll get right back to the clip that Jason Whitlock's getting ready to play. All right? So you said warning comes before destruction.
Mo is different. This date to us. This dating thing. Because Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Ooh. What you trying to say? What you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon need. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Dang.
When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared to say, yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name is Elladora. Now, when you know somebody named Elladora, she's old school. Mm-hmm. Now, Miss Elladora told me to tell you. She said, I think he like red velvet.
Oh, I do.
I say, Miss Elladora, if he do like that, she said, you let him know I got something for him.
Yeah, I like
and she don't
velvet.
have no teeth. Come on, pick your glass up and clack it for me. Come on now. These young gals will bite you. Okay?
They'll bite you. He getting bit right now. My boy is getting bit right now. All right, let's get back to this part. Hold on. It was the 56 and trying that had me weak. Monique was right. Queens, yo, for real. And I think that I don't know, y'all fellas, y'all tell me, and I know everybody's relationship experience is totally different, but you get to a certain point where stuff starts to look spooky out here. Like you looking around, no matter what your situation is, you look at it, you hear different stories, you see what this person going through, see that, and you like, yeah. Those vices that we used to lean into in our 20s and our 30s, I'm still in my 30s. Those vices, we see, and exactly what Anthony said, the warning comes before destruction. We get warned of, there's only a few different ways that this can go. So I don't know. Unc said she was in it for the money. All celebrities, black men, celebrities fall into that mode with getting a relationship with a white girl. Next thing you know, they're getting sued. I don't know when it's going to stop. I don't know. I guess the reason why I'm saying I don't know, I agree with you. It happens with certain people. It happens with OJ, or, you know, obviously I don't know the exact situation with OJ, obviously, but my hesitation is it's just more prevalent, right? Like we just hear about it more when it's a white man getting caught up with a black man getting caught up with a white woman. And the reason why I say that is because I was shocked about that statistic that I still got to check with that video where they were saying that actually more black men, even though the narrative is what we said earlier when we were talking about Michelle Obama, that black men become successful, then they date this group, that. The stats based on what this dude said was that actually the number of black men when they become successful, make a certain amount of money, they tend to marry black women even more. So I got to check that stats, but obviously what you're saying, we see a lot of those situations play out. So Queen's talking about some white only pause. That's how Shannon, I guess, was on. He said, Unc said that's why they make Viagra. Yo, and that's the thing, yo. So it's funny you say that even Viagra. This is like certain things that Shannon Sharpe does. Like Shannon, and I got to keep the same energy with Shannon that I had with Michelle, where it's like, yo, you're just trying to be cool. You're trying to appeal to a particular group. Like, that's corny. You too old to be trying to adjust your style to appear to the youngins. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a clip. Hold on, man. There's a clip that Shannon Sharpe trying to appeal to the youngins. Hold on. Y'all know the situation I'm talking about. When old heads start to go out of their way to try to appeal to the young heads, it creates a terrible like dynamic, in my opinion. Hold on. Y'all got to see this. Oh man, I don't have this. Hold on. There was a Mace. Oh my God, I didn't save this. Hold on. I think I saved it. 1 second. All right, I got it right here. Y'all got to see this. This is what Mace. Now, Mace is talking about a different situation.
We not your little niggas. Like the way you talking, I don't get what you mean.
Just hear me out.
We're not your little niggas. Like for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respected niggas in the streets. That's why I always got the problems.
So you're probably wondering, like, yo, what does this have to do with anything? Stay with me. Keep going.
Niggas would tell me, Mace, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I got a little, like, the dudes that raised me, if I was out of pocket, they would tell me I'm out of pocket. They wouldn't let me put them on a crash out mission. They would say, yo, Mace, listen. Mm-hmm. Around here, we don't send niggas to do nothing for us. We don't pay niggas to handle our problems. Mm-hmm. You got to put in your own work around here, Lord, man. That's what you were supposed to tell them. You can't go out here and talk crazy and then send me on a mission. Mm-hmm. Nah, this is where the game got messed up.
What he's about to say, this is where the game got messed up. I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to try to connect the dots to the situation. Bear with me.
And then
give a little grace, man. It's Friday.
Send me on a mission. Mm-hmm. Nah, this is where the game got messed up. When young niggas started sending old niggas out, and just because this little ignorant nigga got a few dollars, he make all of you that's supposed to be real run after his mission. Mm-hmm. This is a problem, Jay Prince. And I'm going to tell you like this. If you're 60 years old and you're trying to be a street nigga, you failed. You failed. I'm telling you this. And I stand, my name is Mace. I stand by this message.
So I'm relating this, and I don't know how I did that, but I'm going to try. And think about it. Monique was saying, like, I don't want to be 50 trying the dating thing. You know what I mean? Running around here dating the young women. Mace is saying you shouldn't be 60 running around trying to be a street dude. Now, what Mace said that I really wanted to, I kind of just love that particular clip from Mace, I'll be honest. So I just wanted to play it because I heard it early this morning. But when he said the game got messed up when young dudes were able to control what the older dudes were doing. And the older dudes were trying to look cool and do what's cool because the young dude may have a little money, or the young dude got a little swag, the young dude got a little movement. The old head's supposed to control the culture and lead the youngin'. Shannon Sharpe, he's trying to be a youngin'. The same thing that I said with Michelle Obama. She's trying to appeal to the Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions. She wants to be appealing. That's why she's saying, when she said, oh, I always have a dress just in case something pops off or something. Like, it just sounded super awkward when she said it. Because that's not how she speaks. She's trying to appeal to a younger generation. So when I see Shannon Sharpe moving how he moving, is that the same type of thing? I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to hear my dog Mace. It is what it is. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Well, let me keep going with the video. I'm going to show a bunch of the comments, but let's keep going with the video.
Surface, and this is the minstrel show that has been promoted, and oh, Uncle Shannon, Uncle Shay, he's our guy. This was all overlooked before, but now with the scales coming off people's eyes and with their racial idolatry, because black women are very, very upset when one of these successful or wealthy black men choose white women over them. They get very upset. But I want to play just this clip, and I want people to ask themselves.
Before he played the clip, I got to address Unc comment. So Unc said, "Tell the truth and shame the devil." It's creepy when an old man is looking at a young woman. Imagine that, Unc. How women dress right now. Showing everything, wearing leggings, which pretty much just show every curve, every dimple in your butt, everything. Camel toe, everything showing. When you wear clothes like that, Unc, we need to keep it real and tell the truth. But the truth that we need to tell is that when men see you like that, I don't care whether it's a 20-year-old man or a 60-year-old man. When that man sees you walking down the street in a lot of those outfits that you think it's okay to wear, this is exactly what they're thinking about. It's exactly what I'm thinking about. Now, obviously, the people that have self-control, hopefully, we try to have self-control, we don't act on it. But I don't want to hear that we're not looking at it the same way. Stop it. And I'm not saying that you're saying that. I'm just talking overall. When women wear a lot of these clothes that they're wearing, it doesn't matter whether the dude is 20 or 60. As soon as they see it, the first thing that comes to mind is imagining what it would be like having sex with that woman. But see, men are not going to keep it real and tell women that. And I don't even know if women will even care. But to me, that's what happens. Y'all tell me, or tell me if I'm lying. Am I just the creepy dude that I see that way? I'm a man, bro. Like, I'm a man. I got testosterone. If you walk a naked looking woman in front of me, what you think my mind is thinking? Automatically your mind goes to imagining what she looks like naked, because that's what she's wearing is given. The whole point of you revealing and showing certain things is to create that intrigue. That it's like, oh, well, I'm trying to attract a certain type of energy. You can lie to yourself and say, well, no, I just wear it because the leggings are comfortable. Well, maybe you should walk around butt naked on the streets too, because maybe that's comfortable. It's just the logic that, yes, we had this convo before. Just Joy, you could say men are weird. Cool. Men are men. Men are men. And me and you saying that it's weird, you tell me if I'm correct. It sounds as if the men in your life haven't kept it real with you, and this may be the first time that you're hearing this. I don't know. I'm just asking. That's what men are. Like, call it weird. And this maybe goes to the point that we were talking about on a couple shows ago, where we were talking about, is racism normal? Maybe is it natural? Or has it been normalized? So it may be weird, but this is a fact. Y'all may think it's weird because the men in your life, they won't keep it real with you and tell you that. Because your fathers are saying, oh no, you look great, babe. You'll put up a picture revealing on Instagram and your pops will be under the comments celebrating you. Am I making it personal? My bad. It's not personal. I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I guess me saying that made it, no, I'm not. I'm just, yeah. Y'all put up these pictures trying to look sexy, showing off your bikini, your butt out on vacation. What do you think men are thinking when they scroll through that? but then y'all complain about being overly sexualized. Y'all got that Angel Reese derangement syndrome. Angel Reese puts up all these sexual revealing outfits and puts it on and flaunts it around the world to advance her celebrity, but then complains about being overly sexualized. You feel me? Crazy, crazy. Now just Joy saying, nah, just jokes. It's Friday. I love my man and my dad. See, now it's just, oh, my bad, Joy. It was just jokes. My bad. My bad. Joy told me to calm down. She put the LOL at the end of it to make it seem like she wasn't really trying to say, my bad, Joy. My bad. When that accountability come in, or when you start talking about the men in somebody's life, they get real protective. They get real protective when you start either bringing some level of accountability or saying like, oh, the men in your life, they don't keep it real with you. I notice a lot of young women, they get real protective when you start mentioning their fathers or their brothers or their grandma. My bad. I'm just speaking from my point of view. Joy wrote, I definitely don't walk around like that. I don't. I get enough looks alone. Shout out to you. That's what it should be. I hope you pushing that energy. Instead of maybe calling men weird, why don't you say that women are weird for dressing in ways that are attracting men to look at them in a particular way that then they complain about being overly sexualized? That sounds a little weird to me, but I'm gonna calm down. Let's keep going. That part, right? Yeah, okay. All right, let's keep going.
So, what were you watching? Why, if this man was saying this 6 months ago, 5 months ago, a year ago, having these types of
and all right, let me read it first out loud. Ant wrote, I think a better way to state this is not all men sexualize women based upon what they wear, but wearing clothing that accentuates that their sexuality may increase the probability of being sexualized. Not all men. This is when we get into these combos. Why we gotta backtrack, yo? And when I've been talking on this whole show of saying groups of people, I've been saying women, they always want to do this, or I say black people move like this, or did it. But as soon as I say something now specific, it's like, well, not all men sexualize women. Not all men sexualize women. What does sexualize even mean? I would actually disagree with that. And all men sexualize women, depending on what the look at you sexually. If they're attracted to you sexually, they sexualize you, right? Come on, bro. And this is what take the cape off, bro. Come on now. What are we talking about, bro? Look at our culture. Look, our culture is built on sexualizing women. And then you felt the need to say, I think a better way to say it is not all men sexualize. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. He already knows, so I'm going to ease up. I'm going to stall him out, Debo. All right, let's keep going.
Conversations on Nightcap with he and Gilbert Arenas and Ocho Cinco. What were you watching? What did you think it meant? Play the clip.
You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, Coach?
Yeah. How I do it.
Hey, Sky, I mean, who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. She might be famous for vertical activity that she's good at.
She a hooper?
Oh yeah. Well,
who she play for? Who she play for?
She got her own little thing,
Huh?
Man, y'all need to stop, man. Y'all be on that bull jive, man.
Hold on. Who she play for? Who she play for?
Said ain't okay.
Back in the day, she could have been on my team.
She played for on her back.
Have y'all? Yeah, that's Sky Bree, I believe. There's other pictures. Sky Bree's OnlyFans model, popular on Instagram. People are watching this, and trust me, I got the sense of humor of Nightcap. I didn't see this part of Nightcap, but I'm not surprised that this was a part of Nightcap. Shannon Sharpe can't escape. And Virgil Walker makes this point all the time about ministers. that you get captured by your congregation or audience by the tactics you use to build an audience. You can never escape from. And so Shannon Sharpe, when he was over at Freak Sports 1 under the direction of Jamie Horowitz, he got painted into this minstrel show, ignorant Negro stereotype. And he used that to capture an audience. And he became Uncle Shay. And so when he moved over to Club Shay Shay and this independent thing and Nightcap, and he started trying to do a different shtick, he had to revert back to the minstrel show from time to time because that's what he used to gain an audience. Buffoonery and degeneracy. And so if someone showed you that clip, what Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco going back and forth, you'd think you were watching the old Spike Lee movie Bamboozled with Mantan and Eat and Sleep. If you've never seen that movie, go watch it. Because that was like when Spike was trying to do movies that had a point of view. It was like, this is what TV does to black people and black characters, that the only way to have success is to put on a minstrel show. He no longer does that anymore. Spike Lee is part of the minstrel show now. He's accepted that role. He's not in objection to it. But he used to make movies in objection to it. And Bamboozled was one of those movies, and they had Mantan and Eat and Sleep. And that's part of the shtick between Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharpe. Mantan and Eat and Sleep. Play this clip again. I'm just telling people.
Before they play it again, I want to play another clip. It is getting a little bit cringy. Yo, and I meant to say this earlier with Shannon. Hold on. With Shannon, one of the issues that I had with him was when the sex tape came out. Remember the audio? He accidentally put his phone on Instagram Live and he was in the middle of having sex with a girl, like how that happened, whatever. Okay, cool. When that happened, he went on this show, Nightcap, and used it as an opportunity to sell male sexual enhancement pills. Now, people may say, ain't nothing wrong with that. Take advantage of the, whatever. He was saying how, but this is the thing. He went on and said, this was embarrassing to my family. I'm ashamed of this. All these other things, right? But then it's like, oh yeah, but we're going to capitalize off it financially. And this is what we went back to earlier. I think G was asking earlier when it came to certain women in the Democratic Party, whether they're doing these things for self-interest or because they actually believe that it's right. Shannon just moving in a way, it's all about self-interest for Shannon, in my opinion. So therefore, that self-interest, to me, it's clogged the judgment in other areas. Now, I'm still, let me say all this. I still don't believe this woman. And it's funny how, you know what's so funny? We haven't even touched on the fact of whether or not we believe what the woman is saying is true. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. And I hear you, Aunt. I already know, Aunt. I see the comments. I already know. And I don't think Shannon, to be totally honest, I hate the fact that this situation is happening. This man had $100 million on the table, and now she comes out with these. She clearly set him up. She's she's recording stuff, certain stuff. I just think that is BS. Now, all of this stuff can be true. She could have tried to set him up. She could have done all this stuff. She could like all this kinky sex. All that stuff could be true. And doesn't mean that there wasn't a chance that she still could have been raped or assaulted. I'm not saying that, but I'm just giving you my thoughts on it. I hear it based on the attorney, different things. It just doesn't sound right. Now, Shannon offering tens of millions of dollars to settle it. I don't know. The energy was a little bit different when this same attorney that's representing this young lady was representing some other women or another woman and accused Jay-Z. It was Jay-Z like, nah, you ain't getting nothing. Matter of fact, if what you're accusing me of is so egregious, I think you should take it to criminal court. That was Hov's standpoint. So I got to give him credit for that, right? I talk a lot about Jay-Z. Shannon's a little different. Now, he may have just said, look, I'm not finna compromise. It could have just been a straight business decision. I'm about to get $100 million. this lawsuit is going to prevent me from getting $100 million. If this lawsuit comes out or if this goes public, then I may not get $100 million. I may get $10 million less. Damn right I'm willing to pay $10 million. So is it business? But then you also got to accept what comes with that when you settle. Right? Just like somebody who's locked up, you take that plea, you got to accept what comes with it. Whether you saying you did it or not, you accept the plea again. So it's obviously it's different. It's different. But let me play this clip for y'all that I wanted to show y'all. Interesting clip. I think there's some connections in what we're discussing. Maybe there are none, but I think they're asked. This lady's asked about older men dating younger women, and I just wanted to play this clip.
How would you feel about a 40-year-old guy dating a 19-year-old chick?
I think it's wrong. No. I think the 40-year-old should accept responsibility and understand that that is completely not okay. And it's not, she's a full-grown adult, but I don't think it's okay. No, I don't.
But it's okay for a woman to sell herself on OnlyFans at 18 and get railed on camera for money, but not enter a consensual relationship.
So this is where I just kind of lean on my faith. Sorry, hot take, but my faith, no, I don't think it's ever worth putting yourself out there to the internet. I do not believe in that, but that's a personal thing. You do you, make your money. But no, I think they're both wrong.
I would like to chime in and just let y'all know I made more money from my sugar daddy than I did from my full-time job that I have a college degree for.
Oh, respectfully. No, same. No, me as well. Yeah, absolutely. So I did the same thing, but I will say that my experience as a 24-year-old having a sugar daddy and a 19-year-old having a sugar daddy were very, very different. And I think that I made better decisions as a 24-year-old than I did as a 19-year-old.
Can I go back to this part right here? Let me go back to this part right here. She said that she leans on her faith.
Money, but no, I think they're both wrong.
I would like to chime in and just let y'all know I made more money from my sugar daddy than I did from my full-time job that I have a college degree for.
Oh, respectfully. No, same. No, me as well. Yeah, absolutely. So
I don't even know what or if I have a problem with this or what exactly I have a problem with. I guess I'm happy that she was putting out information instead of initially just saying, well, yeah, I did it too. Maybe I should be happy that was trying to hide it, so she's not putting that information out into the world, condoning it with other women. But then as soon as old girl jumped in, now she's saying like, yeah, like same. And I'll be totally honest, I don't even know if, like when I hear her, the ways that she agrees with her, I damn near don't even believe it. Like it just seems like she's just trying to agree with her homegirl. But I don't know. I just wanted to, yeah, it's just good to kind of just see how some people.
I think they're both wrong.
I would like to chime in and just let y'all know I made more money from my sugar daddy than I did from my full-time job that I have a college degree for.
Oh, respectfully. No, same. No, me as well.
Let's go back to Shannon for a little bit, then we're going to wrap this thing up.
We're watching this and enjoying it. And people love this. And it says something about us as an audience, that this is what you have to do to capture an audience. You have to present yourself in this sort of ignorant fashion as a black celebrity, influencer, TV personality in mainstream media, on YouTube, wherever. If you want to capture an audience, this is what you have to do. Play the clip.
You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, Coach?
Yeah. How I do it. How I do it.
This is what I mean when I say, like, this seems so corny. Like, it comes across so corny. But he's trying to appeal to, like, he wants to be cool so bad. That cool disease, that'll take it, man.
I mean, who is that? Who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. She might be famous for vertical activity that she's good at.
Oh, she a hooper?
Oh, yeah.
Well, who she play for? Who she play for? Who she play for?
You know, she got her own little thing, you know.
Huh?
Man, yo. Man, yo.
Like, this is like some little kid stuff, like bragging about, like, I haven't, yo, somebody call me out if I'm wrong. Well, I've only had relations with one woman my whole life, so let's leave that there. But I've never, like, bragging about getting girls, bro. Like, bragging about getting girls, bragging about, like, you two, like, I would feel uncomfortable. I felt I didn't do that in high school. If anything, I'm keeping it on the low. Like, you feel me? Like, being real. Yeah. If anything, nobody gonna know. But at 50 something, almost, this is, or 50, mid-50s, like, bragging about who you're, to get some type of validation, bro. This type of thing, man, make me want to go to the courthouse today. We getting married today. And Queen said, like, that's like some high school stuff. Like, bro, like, it's like, damn. This is what May said. The big homies acting like the little homies, man. You supposed to, if Shannon hears somebody saying that, somebody younger, he's supposed to be like, hey, young fella, you don't go on camera doing that. You know what I mean? We keep our stuff low, we keep our.
Y'all need to stop, man. Y'all need to stop. Y'all be on that bull jive, man.
Hold on, who she play for? Who she play for?
Yo, you know, back in the day, she could have been on my team.
She played for on her back.
Snow Shed.
Yeah,
this is what you have to do.
What y'all think, yo? What y'all think? Let me see. We may end up let me see if I'm hold on. I think we may end up wrapping this thing on up, man. We may end up wrapping this thing on up, man. Let me see if I got a good video to finish it off with, man. I used my funny video earlier. I think I'm gonna let y'all go. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta play this video. Hold on. So I came across this earlier today, and I gotta hold on, man. Am I should I even play it? Matter of fact, I gotta play it. Let me get y'all thoughts on this real quick.
With any of these black people, one way black people achieve true liberation, that's by taking it in blood. There has to be blood all over the floor. There has to be bodies on the floor. There has to be people screaming and crying. That is the reality. And this is what history shows me. No amount of begging, no amount of complaining, no amount of protesting, nada is going to get you your liberation until you take it with blood. You see? So this is why I sit back and I don't play along with any of these black people talking about it's a spiritual war and this, that, because when those cops are going into our neighborhoods and shooting our babies, that's a physical thing. You see, y'all so worried about the spiritual world, but you're not worrying about the world that's right in your face. When we're getting thrown in prison, that's a physical thing, right? Address the physical. You see, this is why I say don't hit my phone until y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do. When y'all ready to go outside and hunt them white boys, hunt them cops, go to that white boy's neighborhood and fuck his shit up. When y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do, hit me. But until then, I'm not playing around with y'all because it's all of these excuses for why we don't want to do it. Why? Many of us are scared. You know what I mean? Many of us are complacent in our oppression. You know, many of us don't want to burn the relationships we have with white people, all of these things. So I'm going to sit back and do my thing. When y'all ready to go outside and take blood, hit me anytime. But you see, a lot of us are not ready to do that. But I'm trying to tell y'all, there is no freedom. There is no liberation for our people until there's blood on that floor, on that battlefield. And that's the truth we don't want to admit.
All right, so I wanted to initially play this video for a bunch of reasons. And I was always on the fence about it. Playing it, not necessarily about playing it. Let me keep it on here. Here we go. one of the reasons why I wanted to play it is to show us how a lot of this radicalism and extremism can put people in a certain position, can encourage certain type of behavior. And my mind honestly goes a whole bunch of different places when I'm hearing this. When I see him, I get mad at the older generation of men. I'm just being honest. When I hear him ready to crash out and create a race war and go hunt white people and white cops, I blame bad leadership. And Ant wrote, Ant, you read the same thing that I read when I looked at it. I'm reading the situation the same way. He doesn't seem ready to do that. If you were ready to do that, then you wouldn't be on camera saying you're ready to do that. You would just be going out and getting busy. But now you on camera saying that, promoting other people, and this is the toughest thing that I'm going to say. But I got to keep it real with y'all. A lot of people will look at this dude and say, yo, he's ignorant. And this is why I said I don't really blame him. Or I blame, let me restate that. I put the emphasis on the leadership. This is a reflection of poor leadership. Attitude reflects leadership, Captain, right? Remember the Titans, Julius and Bertier? A lot of people can be looking at him and say, oh my God, how could anybody think like that? I've questioned those things. Back in 2013, 14, I would never say that I was ready to take up arms. But this type of talk did not seem crazy to me in 2013, 2014. I'm being totally honest with you. And it's because I was angry. I was pissed off. I was absorbing a lot of media that was only leaning one way. I felt helpless and hopeless. I was disgusted in the Black leadership that I was seeing trying to go about it one way. And in my opinion, it seemed like, oh, they're just, you keep trying to be passive. But then when you look around at the world, and let's keep it real, because initially what went through my mind, and I'm saying that I've been there to show y'all that I assume that a lot of y'all mess with me, that y'all tap in from time to time, right? And y'all would be thinking like, how could anybody think like that? I could have thought like that. Now, I was never as extreme as that. I'm just being totally honest with you. But there were certain times where I would align more with this type of guy than perhaps who I am now. I'm just being honest with you. And that's what happens. And that's why I get so angry. And that's why I feel like it's a responsibility to jump up here and talk about a lot of the stuff that we talk about and call it out. Shoot, Queez will tell you what I was on. Like blackity black, all that. Yeah. As far as how I was seeing the world, I was seeing the world totally different then. And it's funny that in certain areas, it led me to this growth. But in other areas, I just look at it like, nah, bro, I'm glad you grew out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if what I just said makes total sense, but hopefully y'all can understand what I'm saying. There's certain areas that the mindset that I had, it's not that I don't think that, and see, there's a right, like sometimes we look at stuff like, what's right? And then you look at, well, what has worked? So when I look around at the world, and because initially when this young man was speaking, I'm looking at it from a standpoint like, yeah, I hate when I start saying like. I'm looking at it from a standpoint where I instantly thought about, well, Jewish people, they're extremely successful. But then you start to look at what we see happening in a lot of those areas. A lot of Europeans. Let's keep it real. America, the stuff that it was built on, right? I'm coming in here. I'm killing off all the people that were here, enslaving some of the others. bringing on some slaves. And that's how we operate. And a lot of the powers that are the most powerful countries right now, they got it in blood. But see, this is where, in my opinion, for me, just my personal growth has come in. I don't believe just because they do something that I got to do it. I don't believe in this whole back and forth. Well, Donald Trump did it, so we're going to do it. No, what do you stand on? What are your principles and morals? I'm not shifting my principles and morals based on how somebody else is behaving. Now, always going to defend myself to a certain point. So that could obviously be encouraged from there. But I got to feel like I'm better than that. I got to feel like there's another way. I got to feel like humanity is better than that. I don't want it to be an eye for an eye, because you realize very quickly that things are never going to stop. Case in point, Israel and Palestine. Does anybody see that? Oh, well, it was this date that this happened. Oh, well, before that, this happened. And I'm not saying right now who's right, who's wrong. I'm just saying you get to the point where nobody knows who's right and wrong, or the right and wrong becomes irrelevant. Now, certain people may know who is right and wrong, but it becomes irrelevant because there's just people on one side and there's people on the other side. They're just competing. They're just fighting. So it doesn't matter. We see it in gang life. Well, who started the beef between the Bloods and the Crips? Who started the beef between this set of the Crips and that set of the Crips? Who started it? Well, they started it. Yeah, but it's been going on for 20, 30 years, and y'all killing each other in LA. Y'all killing each other in Chicago because of something that happened with people that you didn't even know? Off of some silly stuff? So for me, it's like, I can understand. I'm being totally honest with y'all. I can understand how somebody gets frustrated to a point, and frustrated with the leadership when you're looking at the Al Sharptons of the world, when you're looking at a lot of, I can understand. I don't think it's right. Let me be clear. I don't think that it's right. But I'm telling y'all that I've been almost here in my thinking, and my thinking would align more with this young man than my thinking now in 10 years ago or 13 years ago. I'm telling y'all that to show us how dangerous it can be when we receive a certain type of information and we're misled and manipulated. Also, how dangerous it can be for a lot of young kids that are growing up and the leadership is not there. The proper leadership is not there. And let's say we're talking specifically about the Black community. So you grow frustrated. You feel like there's no other option. So I'm crashing out. I'm telling y'all this to give some clarity for the people that may believe in a lot of the Democrat and liberal principles. I don't know what this person's politics are, but I'm going off of me. When I believed in the Democrat liberal principles, I was more aligned with this young man's thinking than I am now and how I see the world. So when a lot of the older generation, when y'all are pushing a lot of these Democrat and liberal radical ideologies and not taking a leadership role, us not having a true leader that we can look up to right now, we do not have a Malcolm. We got Al Sharpton. We don't have a Martin. We got Al Sharpton. This is what happens. So I'm not blaming y'all, but at some point we got to take responsibility in whatever generation I'm in right now and how I impact or do not impact the next generation. We got to take some responsibility with that. And if nobody takes responsibility with that, we're going to continue having situations and young men like this that have this particular mindset. Now, a lot of people would say, imagine having his mindset Like he has so much pride for his people that he's ready to go risk his life. He's ready to go kill. I wouldn't. Now, initially, what went through my mind is perhaps he needs to be in the military, in the army, and having that pride for America. But then in all actuality, even when I think about it from that standpoint, that's the wrong mindset to have, even if you're in the military, just justifying doing the same things. Because look what I just did in my mind. I said, oh, it's okay if you have this mindset when it comes to us as a country and wreaking havoc, destroying, dropping bombs, pillaging, raping. Like, it's okay when we're wearing the USA uniform, right? But then we can't understand when this man is saying what he's saying. Why is it okay for us to justify Ukraine having to fight in blood, to have to kill, for Russia to have to kill, for Israel to have to kill 50,000 plus Palestinians, for Palestine to feel like they got to, kill? Obviously, it wasn't those numbers. Why do we look at it through a lens, but then we'll look at this dude as saying like, yo, he's bugging, he's tripping. But then when us as a country, we do it, it's not a problem. And I just did it. Y'all just saw me do it in real time. In my mind, I told y'all my initial feeling was like, oh no, he need to be in the military with that energy. He absolutely does not need to be in the military with that energy. And people who have that type of energy, or people in the military, when our military, I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to get into that. My fault. I know I just went on some talking points. Let me wrap it up quickly. Let me catch up with some of these comments real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. But like I said, I just wanted to be vulnerable with y'all to show y'all how, especially when you're young, you have a vulnerable mind. You also have a lot of testosterone. You want to fight for a cause. You see something that's unfair. You get in a position where this just ain't right. I feel hopeless. I feel like I don't have good leadership. Nobody to believe in. You can be persuaded to have some pretty extreme views. And I'll leave it there. So I hope that we can get away from this radical stuff. I really do. Because it doesn't benefit this young man, and obviously doesn't benefit the communities. If he's going into white communities, killing cops and killing just random people, it obviously doesn't benefit them, but it doesn't benefit him either. But he thinks that it does. The same way a lot of our military members, the soldiers, they think that what they're doing is benefiting the overall good of humanity. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're only justifying it because it's not your people dying. Unc wrote, society breeds hate because of the disadvantages that our youth have. It's a generational difference. It was no difference for me than it was for you. Okay. I get what you're saying. You're saying like the generational differences. I got you. Am I Black Enough for You is still one of my favorite songs. I sent you a video direct. It pertains to Africa, but it also pertains to all of us in America. And yeah, maybe we'll get it together for Monday. Maybe that's something that you can present on Monday for everybody. Would be interesting to understand this young man's level of faith, and faith in what and why has he arrived to this conclusion? Gee, I'll be totally honest with you. I can't speak on his faith, but what I can speak on is mine. And y'all know I don't play the whole victim stuff. Y'all know I don't. One of the reasons why I don't have a faith, I'll be totally honest with you, is because how Christianity was given to Black people was totally different how Christianity was given to white people. And how do I know this? Is because I've sat down with white pastors. I've sat down with Black pastors. I've sat down with a white pastor in my hometown, and she told me that not only how it was given to Black people was different, was given to you to be oppressive, so you would be comfortable being oppressed, obey your earthly master, where it was something that was taught totally different to the white population. How can I buy into that? So that's why I look at Christianity different than a lot of other people may look at Christianity who are not Black. Just being totally honest with you. Then when you start to do some research and you realize like, damn, they changed the entire vision of image of what Jesus looked like. Why would they do that? Why would Michelangelo recreate the image of Jesus? Why when I go on ChatGPT and I look at what did the people look like who were in the in the Palestinian region? What did they originally look like? What did you? Oh, they look like this. Oh, that's interesting. That's not how it looks. The people. That's not how Jesus is portrayed now. So it goes beyond. Well, some people may say, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, what Jesus's color was. Well, if it didn't matter, why did you change? Those are the questions that I ask. Why was it changed? Clearly, you felt it mattered if you wanted to commission to make a blanket change of who Jesus looked like, especially when it's contradicted in the Bible. The image that I grew up in my church looking at is not what it says in the Bible. So faith is a very interesting conversation when it comes to Black people, in my opinion. So I would say give a little grace when it comes to that. We know the story about Nat Turner. Nat Turner was a preacher. A lot of people may not know that. The reason why Nat Turner has his revolution is because he was tired of preaching one thing. He was one of the slaves that was taught to read. He was taught to read, and then he was taught to say, like, oh, we can use this nigga. We can use him to teach an oppressive religion under the Christianity umbrella to the Black people while we teach this uplifting religion to the white people over here. And he got sick and tired of it to the point where he eventually crashed out and said, nah. And then we got Nat Turner's rebellion, where he feels I'm killing the kids, I'm killing the wife, I'm killing everybody in the house. I'm killing everybody. That's what happened. He crashed out. But we got to also look at the root of the issues, right? So when you have a faith, why does everybody's faith, most people who believe in a particular faith, their savior, the person that the Jesus, the Muhammad figure, they tend to look like the people that are worshiping them. Because we can sit here and act as if imagery is not an important thing. It is. It is. That's half the reason we've been talking about having a discussion with Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, because it's important to represent. That's one thing that I will never take away from Barack Obama. One thing I will never take away from Barack Obama is he represented us well. It was a great image for us to see as far as what a Black family, an American family could look like. Both. So what faith am I supposed to buy into? And I'm not making excuses. Black people, we don't know our history. We don't know what religion that what religion we worshiped or what religion we lived by before Christianity. Look at what the Arabs did in Africa. They did it with Islam. The slave trade in Islam in Africa was twice as long, and from what I read, way worse than what happened in America. So when you have these religions, I'm sorry, I'm just not the type that I don't accept the religion of people that gave me the religion who were trying to conquer me. So I acknowledge, like, yo, and this is why I used to be so against religion overall. I think it was for good reasons. I still agree with the reasons why I was against it, but I've just grown to a point that I realized, like, damn, people need something to follow. People need something to follow. But if we're really concerned with this young man, and G, I'm not talking to you directly. If we're really concerned with this young man and believe that he needs to have a certain level of faith and some spiritual improvement, then let's look at it big picture wise and maybe understand, have some empathy in understanding why he may not align with the faiths that typically a lot of us align with. That would be my question. That would be my question. Uncle Rod, I've tried to mentor my nephews into a better way of life, and sometimes I can't even reach them because of the brainwashing that life has already given them. That's a fact. Uncle Rod, I'm the new Malcolm. I don't have an audience. We're going to give you one. I've been researching this. So, yeah, these are some of the thoughts that we got to take into consideration. It's easy to look at this young man and say, damn, what faith is he? Like, what's his faith like? Well, let's look at our options that we've been presented. Like you can't. The only reason why the majority of when I ask my parents why they taking me to church, why are you Christian? Oh, because their parents and their parents and their parents. But then there's a certain point where there's like a break in history where it's like, oh, well, oh, that's not the type of religion that they were practicing. And we all know how you can read from the same book and pledge to the same Christianity and interpret that book to where you can have, obviously we have different, you got Presbyterian, you got Baptist, you got all the interpretation matters. So I'm saying to just give a little empathy. Yes, I hope that this young man, and I almost don't even want to say he gets some type of spiritual healing, because it's like, who am I to judge what type of healing he needs? But I'm going to judge. I hope he gets the spiritual healing that I believe would benefit him. I truly hope that he does that, because I don't think anybody should have that type of mindset where they believe that the only way that they can fix a problem or attain a particular goal is to kill people. But looking around the world, it seems like us being America, that's very much like the pot calling the kettle black. When we look at what our tax dollars are going towards, when we look at the amount of bombs that we drop on other countries, just because stuff hasn't hit our coast and our country. Look at how we reacted over 9/11. Look at how we reacted over 9/11. That's every day in some of these countries in the Middle East. Dropping bombs or flying a plane, whatever you believe. So all I'm saying is let's just look at it big picture wise. I disagree completely, and I wanted to be vulnerable enough to share with y'all that, yo, this person's thoughts, a lot of people can be looking at it and say, like, how could anybody think that way? I'm telling y'all how somebody could think that way. So, but we got to do better. We got to do better. And that's why I can't stand the division that a lot of the Democrats and the liberals create. I can't stand it. It doesn't benefit. This young man could be looking at it and say, well, look at how everything else was conquered. It was conquered in blood. So obviously we got to get our liberation in blood. Look at how Haiti got their liberation. It was in blood. We got to get our. Logically speaking, how can you not understand what he's saying? I just don't agree with it because overall, from a humanitarian logical standpoint, I disagree with it. So I'll leave that there. I'll leave that there. And G wrote, that's the question. Does he have faith in something? I did not mention Christianity. More so, does he have any faith in anything? And what drives his decisions? No judgment, looking for root cause. And that's why I said I'm not specifically making it about you, but having faith in what? I'm telling you the struggle that I had when I was 10 years ago. What would I have faith in? I grew up Christian just because my parents brought me to the church because my grandparents would pick me up at the house and they were into the church. So they would take me to church. And then I started asking questions and I was like, nah, I don't like these answers. And then I eventually sat down with a white pastor and she was the one pretty much giving me the most information, saying like, yo, exactly how you think, that's absolutely right. That is exactly what has happened in Christianity. It was taught to black people to keep them oppressed. This is what the lady told me. I forget her name. I'm sure I have her on my phone. And she said it was taught to white people to be superior. And she was saying that that's still now in the church. How you get the victimhood on this side and a totally different way of preaching on this side. So to have faith to me goes beyond religion and have faith in humanity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Perhaps we should prioritize faith in humanity over faith in everything else, because there's a lot of amazing people that have faith in religion, and religion does a whole lot of great things, right? For a lot of people. But also that faith in religion has led to a whole lot of people dying as well in the name of religion. Right? That slave ship that came over, the Jesus Lubbock, the first slave ship that came over here, or the first or second, I believe it was the first, that landed in, I believe, Jamestown, Virginia. The Jesus was the name of it. So Manifest destiny, the European mindset that, oh, you can conquer any land as long as they're not Christian. So what exactly are we having faith in? It's easy to say, do we have faith in something when we're in the comforts of America, perhaps, but what do we really have faith in? A lot of people have died in the name of religion. So whether it's faith in Christianity or faith in any other religion, when we say faith, we typically align that with a particular religion. Maybe we should back that up and just have faith in humanity. So I don't know. Ant said having faith in yourself is a good place to start. I agree. All right, let's my apologies. I left y'all. Let's do our 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Y'all know what we do at the end of every show. 45 seconds, clear your mind. Do whatever it is you need to do. Meditate, manifest, get your breath work in. Whatever you need to do. Y'all know what we set out in the beginning of every week to do, which is to make this our greatest week ever. Maybe concentrate on the things that we need to do the rest of the day in order to bring that to fruition. A lot of stuff that I got to knock out on my end, I know. So let's take that 45 seconds right now. I'm closing my eyes. You choose to do whatever it is that is best for you. 45 seconds starting now. All right, one last exhale, exhaling all the negative energy, inhaling all the positive. I like that last comment, G. Be well, all have faith in one another. Let's have faith in each other. Yo. We are all connected. We're all connected. All right. Let's have faith in the things that unite us rather than the things that separate us. Y'all know we come in to do Elevate on Purpose, both from an intentional standpoint that challenges us by raising our standards to become the best leaders we can become, and in order to grow into the people we need to become to accomplish these amazing goals that we set out for ourselves. Strength and honor, onward and upward, get to that bag. If you don't know what I mean, I'm talking about all the things throughout the week that are going to put us in the position to not only win the week, but to align with the proper trajectory that's going to allow us to live in our purpose and strive for that purposeful abundance that we look for, and that personal legend. Yeah, I got to read The Alchemist. I'm telling you, it's a dope book. All right. Let's make sure that we're doing all the little things. That's what I mean when I say get into that bag. So what's in my bag? Peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do. Integrity. Great people. Have a great weekend. Go see Sinners. Sinners was dope. Queens, how did I not talk about that? We talking about Sinners on Monday. How did I not talk about this today? I saw it on, you know why? Because I saw it on Monday. And because we're only on Monday and Friday now, oh man. Queen sent the fire emojis. Y'all know what it is. Please make sure that you like and subscribe on your way out. And on that note, I'll see y'all. Everybody have a great weekend. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's give grace. Let's hug each other. Let's love each other. And let's focus on the things that bring us together rather than the things that separate us. On that note, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.